Hey guys, I'm back with another video, and yes, today we have the Milk Bar birthday cake haulage, which is the Milk Bar collaboration, and it's the early access preview for it. And so it said it was like an early access member preview, and usually that implies it's online only, but this time around it was actually available in stores, which was kind of fun. When I was browsing on the app, it showed that they were available for pickup in store, and so I was like, oh, that must be that they're in stores as well. And they were in store, so I went into the store today. It was like those like cube stands that you see like at the front of the store. There was one of those at the front of the stores where they're like stacked up with product, and then there was another one of those like cube square stands towards the back of the store, and that was where the two selections of products were, and they had plenty of product there, at least at the time I went, which was closer to opening. And it is the birthday cake fragrance that is previewing right now. The signage in store says that it is Bath & Body Works' 35th birthday, so they're going to celebrate like it's their birthday with cake from Milk Bar. And it says that there is a full menu launching soon, and so I believe it's a larger collaboration with other fragrances, and then there will be the birthday cake one that's previewing right now in conjunction with the birthday of Bath & Body Works. Let's see, I believe the other fragrances, I think somebody on Reddit was saying when they were typing in Milk Bar, they could see the other fragrances that were showing up. And so, at least in the search bar, according to this thing, it said there was a Milk Bar cereal milk soft serve, a raspberry holiday pie bar, a cookie butter fragrance, the birthday cake fragrance, which we have right here, and then a peppermint bark truffle. And of course, the peppermint bark and the raspberry holiday pie all kind of tie in with the holiday theme. And so I would assume that this will be a holiday full launch in the holiday floor set, and this is the early preview that we have now. And so that is the Milk Bar thing. Speaking of Milk Bar, this is literally the first time I've ever like been confronted with this brand. I've never heard of it before, so kind of a weird choice to collab with them when it's a brand that I feel like a lot of people maybe weren't quite aware of, or perhaps I'm just ignorant myself and I didn't know it. But yes, so I had to ask ChatGPT what Milk Bar was because I was totally in the dark about any of this. And so according to ChatGPT, let's see, Milk Bar is famous for its playful, nostalgic, and unconventional takes on desserts, and it is a dessert and bakery chain founded in 2008 by whoever Christina Tosi is, who is a pastry chef. And she started the brand in New York City and expanded to multiple US cities. It says that it's a whimsical, nostalgic comfort foods philosophy with a gourmet twist. And instead of traditional French pastry techniques, she pulls inspiration from childhood snacks, cereal, box cake, and supermarket treats, reimagining them in creative and elevated ways. Apparently, there's multiple locations in NYC, LA, DC, Las Vegas, and Toronto. And they also do nationwide shipping on their website, and some of the products are in retail locations. And that's the extent of it. So this is the first time I've heard about it. So I have no ties to the brand, and it doesn't really like do anything for me, but at the end of the day, I just want new product, right? And so like, whatever with the collab, I just want a new fragrance to test out, so that's what we have here. Yes, okay, so here we have the Milk Bar birthday cake. I picked up the 3-wick candle right here, that's what that looks like. And then the body wash, I don't think it was showing up online, but it was in stores in abundance, so the body wash does appear to be here, and that's what that looks like. It kind of has that like bottle shape that we see from like, is it Perfect in Pink? And maybe Deep Ocean had a similar type of like this type of bottle shape to it, but in any case, yes. And it was 2 for $25, and I was like, ooh, I don't think I really love this candle so much, and we buy 2 of them, so there's a second candle that will haul towards the end of the video. But in any case, we have Milk Bar birthday cake right here, and that's what that looks like. It has a, once again, another unbranded lid. And it's a like white, off-white matte finish lid, and then we have a square clear label here, and then we have a like pink pearlescent finish painted colored glass jar, and that's what that looks like. If you recall, I think it was 2018, there was like a cufflinks and like a champagne toast. There was like a New Year's collection that had a similar like confetti label plus like pearlescent jar. It very much recalls that like paint finish of those jars from that like New Year's collection. I think it was like 2018 or something. So if you remember that, that's kind of what this is. The bottom is $27.95, so we do have a price increase. And then there's like a Milk Bar and Bath and Body Works logo there as well. It's a layered vanilla cake, creamy frosting and rainbow sprinkles, and it has the Corwix and the white wax, and that's what that looks like right there. Yes. And yeah, I think everyone's first question is this just going to be a repackage of the sprinkled birthday cake candle that we had before? And then didn't it come out as some like champagne cupcake or something like that for a Valentine's Day at one point, right? And that's where it got repackaged, and it was just like, how is this even a champagne fragrance? I don't know. There was something like that, right? But in any case, at least on cold sniff, is it similar? Absolutely. It is yet another birthday cake fragrance that we've like smelled so much at this point, right? Like all the buttercreams and the vanillas and the cake pops and all that kind of like shortbread cookie stuff is all very similar and run-of-the-mill at this point. And so no, this is not groundbreaking. Is it sprinkled birthday cake exactly? I don't think so. I feel like it's kind of lacking there was a distinct, so I actually really enjoyed sprinkled birthday cake, but I remember it being very polarizing, and there were some people saying that they didn't like that it had this sort of like sour milkiness to it, but that is actually what I really liked about it, because it made it more realistic in like a like fresh cream being slathered on the cake experience. And there was a distinct, almost like a refrigerated strawberry note in there that gave it a little bit of like a coolness of like when you were pulling the cake out of the fridge and getting ready to serve it. And that was so like, I guess it made it slightly different and unique enough that I actually really appreciated it, but I think it was that part that turned off people. And while this is similar, I'm not getting that exact sprinkled birthday cake smell, and I've like long finished that candle before, so I don't have that in my collection anymore. It's similar, but I don't think it's exactly the same. I think it's slightly warmer than sprinkled birthday cake is, and I feel like it doesn't quite have that sort of like strawberry like milkiness that people were kind of complaining about. But of course, it's also similar, and it's just like, it's these fragrances where I'm just like, what am I doing, like going on for 20 minutes on video trying to split hairs between like all the sugar cookie and the cake fragrances? I'm like, is that the best use of my time? Like, I guess I enjoy doing it, but it's just like, I guess after reviewing candles for 12 or 13 years, it's just like, oh my God, like why am I doing this? Like, why am I splitting hairs over like such minute differences? And at the end of the day, like you're still gonna burn and smell the candle yourself, right? And enjoy it or not enjoy it, and ultimately it will be up to you. So I don't know, sometimes it just feels ridiculous splitting hairs on like such basic fragrances like this. Like, I understand if it's like something complex or, you know, elevated, then like, okay, maybe there is some reason to like really break down the fragrance, but it's just like, girl, it's a birthday cake candle. Like, that's what it smells like. End of story, you know? And so sometimes it just feels super silly. But yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know, this just smells like a birthday cake candle. No, I don't think it's exactly any of the other ones we've had before, but is it similar? Yeah, 100%. And I sprayed the mist as well, and I also used the hand soap in store. And the hand soap I had full intentions of buying because they were on sale today, but then I used the soap at the sink in the store, and the soap, which oftentimes that's exactly the reason why I wanted to try it out, was because vanilla oil in their foaming hand soap formula tends to always kind of smell off or weird or chemically, and like a benzoyl peroxide reference that I always make, that type of way. And sure enough, the hand soap smells so whack. Like when you're using it, I was just like made a weird face in store because I was like really trying to dissect and smell it. And when you smell the liquid foaming up on your hands, like at the sink, it smells like singed hair and very chemically. And so I can't personally recommend the foaming hand soap, because like while you're using it, which is really when you kind of primarily smell and experience the fragrance, I mean, you will smell it on dry down afterwards, but like at the sink when I'm using it, it was just very unpleasant and smelled like chemicals and singed hair. And so I was like, that is usually pretty standard for a vanilla oil in a foaming hand soap formula, and so that stayed at the store. The mist was actually quite delicious. I do have to say the mist on opening had a very strong like toasted coconut presence in it. And once again, I'm like very much dissecting these, so like don't think that this is a primarily coconut fragrance, but I guess having worked in fragrance and candles myself for a few years now, you just kind of learn to pick out the top, middle, bottom notes. And so in this case, you do get kind of like a toasted coconut opening mixed with like a sort of a caramelization is what you get from it, and then comes the vanilla creamy birthday cake experience afterwards. And then it has like actually stayed on my skin for quite some time, and I continuously went to smell my wrist throughout the whole car ride home because it did actually smell quite delicious and scrumptious. And so it does smell great. It really does smell like a birthday cake fragrance. It doesn't smell cheap, at least the mist doesn't. It doesn't smell cheap, it doesn't smell plasticky, or it doesn't have like a weird Play-Doh-y component to it. Like, unlike the hand soap, which had the weird singed hair moment, the mist did not have that, and the mist smelled very much like what you would want a really juicy, awesome birthday cake fragrance to smell like. So I did appreciate the way the mist dried down and stayed on my skin. Of course, on dry down, you do get a little bit more of this slightly floral undertone in kind of like a heliotrope, like warm vanilla sugar type of floral undertone is definitely in there on dry down. That's just often necessary with these type of vanilla fragrances, just because vanilla oils in like fine fragrance just don't have a lot of longevity unless you add a lot of like base notes like your woods and your musks and your like sort of florals in there. And so there is, at least right now, it's very evident that there is a little bit of like a floral perfuminess. Think of like the, who's her face? Emily in Paris, Macaron Cloud. That type of sort of like floral vanilla does end up on her skin afterwards. But overall, it smelled great, and it smelled like an awesome birthday cake fragrance, and like it smelled very scrumptious. So I was like, oh my god, I wish I kind of had like an excuse to wear this or use this. But I'm just not a personal fragrance user, just because like, hello, 5 days a week at work, like I'm having to smell fragrances and do marketing and design on them. And so like I can't have my own personal fragrance interrupting me. And so I have no use case for it. But yes, so that was the mist. The body wash, I haven't used it yet, but the body wash for vanilla fragrances is similar to the foaming hand soap, where there's a slight chemically undertone to it. It's not as terrible as the foaming hand soap, but yeah, and so I haven't used this yet, but it smells close enough in the body wash, but not quite as pure and decadent as the mist is. And then lastly now, like going full circle to the candle, I do have to say the candle is probably the sort of weaker format of all of them, surprisingly. I just feel like haven't been having great throw performance with Bath & Body Works recently. For instance, like the two Villains candles were very light to maybe possibly medium. All those like football season and autumn evening and book loft are all very light too. So I've been having a lot of light fragrance experiences from Bath & Body Works lately. And this one's not super strong, but this does smell similar to the mist like after opening. And so you do get a little bit of a sort of like up top sort of toasted, like, I think it's almost like a toasted coconut note to evoke like cake that is kind of like warming up and getting golden and like baked in the oven, and you get a sort of warm, slightly like toasty baked feel to it. That's what I'm getting up top, mixed with like a sort of caramel sweetness to give it more oomph to that vanilla, and then you get that sort of vanilla cream note in there. And yeah, it smells as you would imagine a birthday cake to smell like. For comparisons, once again, it just seems so ridiculous to split hairs on a basic vanilla fragrance. But like we have Sugar Cookie from that Candle Day release, and it is very much in line with this. I would say this one's a little bit more buttery and golden and a little bit more crispy rather than like a creamy, like soft, like moist cake. This one feels a little bit more dry and buttery, but still very much in that similar route. And of course, this had a vanilla, butter, and crispy brown edges with sugar, so very similar. It is very similar to the Sugar Spell Sweets fragrance as well. I mean, yeah, these are similar, but man, I guess not comparing these two and like actually splitting hairs, and maybe this is why we do this exercise of splitting hairs on basic fragrances, is that I guess there is a slight undertone of a body care perfuminess in this candle that I don't pick up in Sugar Spell Sweets or Sugar Cookie. So I guess this is more of like a formulated for body care and then turned into candle, and so you're getting some residual like body care undertone to this. But I mean, I want to say it's like a full perfume fragrance, but yeah, in comparison, these just seem more like a pure gourmand that doesn't seem like it has a body care application to it, whereas the birthday cake one, yeah, maybe there is a little bit of that sort of like perfumed vanilla, sort of like heliotrope, warm vanilla sugar, macaron cloud action kind of chilling in there. We also have Mary Cookie. This one's always kind of different. It's a little bit more extreme in the way that that butter is so incredibly buttery that it almost comes off like cheesy. Yeah, this one's just so much more buttery and cheesy. And then lastly, at least in my collection, I'm sure there's so many other vanillas and buttercream icings and pumpkin marshmallows and all those existing. But for the purpose of this exercise, we have Danbury shortbread. Oh my God, I blasted this one for being so basic on cold, but I always go back to this. And there's a slight weird chemical smell to this on cold, but God, when you warm this and burn this, it was just the most delicious sort of like beautiful cross between both like a whipped vanilla and a crispy shortbread buttery action. And it's so delicious. Oh my God, I freaking love this, but it is not Danbury shortbread either. I feel like this one, once again, has a little bit more of a sort of a crispy, buttery, golden feel to it. That this one's a little bit more creamy and milky. But yeah, now that I'm smelling all of them, this does have kind of like an underlying sort of that macaron cloud, warm vanilla sugar, slightly inedible body care application vibe to this candle that the other ones don't. But it is another birthday cake vanilla fragrance. I don't know, I feel like I'm just kind of sick of talking about it at this point. So long story short, I don't think it's exactly sprinkle birthday cake. Is it similar? Hell yeah. Is it any of the other ones exactly? No, I don't think so. Yeah, that's Milk Bar birthday cake for me. So yeah, I don't know, it's fun. It's another basic fragrance. Sometimes I wish they would just go a little outside of the box, and it's like, the only reason I guess I'm even giving this much attention to this is because it's a collaboration with a brand that I don't even know about, but it's a collaboration, so it makes it seem a little bit more exciting or fun. And also, side note, so glad that this is actually included part of the sale. Unlike the Disney Villains BS, that is still not part of the sale. At least the candles are not. And I'm mainly a body wash user, so I am like glad I could use a reward for this. Unfortunate for Mist, and I think the creams are probably above the reward price. And so you cannot use a reward on that, which totally sucks. But the mist is so cute. Oh my God, I'll try to put in a photo here. But it has like a striped straw thing in the middle of the bottle, which is so juicy and awesome. They've done that before with like a summer, like a summer drinks collection they had once in like a summer SAS time frame. And so it's not the first time we've seen it, but super cute for them to reintroduce that for this, because it's like super cute and it's very on brand with this. Okay, cool. I think that's it for Milk Bar birthday cake. Once again, more fragrances coming out for the holiday time. So I guess I love gourmand fragrances. So like whether or not it's Milk Bar or not Milk Bar, I'm just still excited to smell new fragrances and try them out. So excited for that. Okay, the last thing of note, 2 for $25 is the sale price, and I'm like, I don't think I love this birthday cake fragrance enough when I have so many like cookie and shortbread collection fragrances in my collection already. So I called up my mother and I was like, hey, what do you want? I have just one more candle I need to buy to get this 2 for $25. And she was like, oh, I kind of want Leaves or Cider Lane. And at first I was like, oh, Cider Lane's an online exclusive this year, so I don't think I'm gonna be able to get it in the store for you. And then I'm walking around and lo and behold, Cider Lane and Fall Farmhouse were finally in stores. And they were supposed to be in stores, I think maybe a few weeks ago, I don't quite know. But I remember seeing the paperwork saying that Cider Lane and Fall Farmhouse in the online exclusive packaging was supposed to be in stores, but it didn't come out with the rest of the stuff in the paperwork, so I just figured it got canceled. But then when I was walking around the store today, those 2 candles were actually on the floor, and so Fall Farmhouse is back. It smells just as usual. It's like this weird, like, meaty fragrance. I don't know. It just smells like sausages to me. I'm not a huge fan of that one. And then Cider Lane is back, and that's what that looks like. So kind of fun, I was able to pick this up for her. $24.95, warm caramel, Granny Smith apple, dark brown sugar, and ground clove. A little scared now for my mother when she goes to burn it because that's a really dark wax, and all the online exclusive candles this year have been burning kind of like slow and weird. It does have the thick rope-like wicks on it, but it's not even the biggest size that I feel like they use generally. So I don't know if this is gonna dud out mid-range, but it smells great. Oh God, it's just like this beautiful like caramel apple, and there's like this brown sugar, drippy, like liquidy, gooey essence to it, and it's just so thick and rich, and it's just like the most unique and awesome caramel apple type of fragrance. It doesn't really smell like cider as it does a caramel apple. It's like primarily a caramel apple fragrance. It is similar to like the once again, the fall apple cider that we had last year, which smelled like a caramel apple fragrance. You know, we had just a plain caramel apple. What else did we have? So many caramel apples, right? Thanksgiving was awesome. Similar to that too. Spooky Cider Lane, which is the same thing as Cider Lane. We just added the word spooky to it, but when you smell the two side by side, they smell totally identical. But yeah, so it's back, and it's fun that it's back in store, and it just has an awesome, like, nostalgic classic Bath & Body Works label to it, which I enjoy. I think that's pretty much it. Thanks so much for watching. Yeah, okay, I think that's all I have to say. Awesome, let me know your thoughts on Milk Bar. Is this the first time you've heard about this brand? Is there anybody out there who's like a Milk Bar diehard, who's like so jazzed for this collaboration? Let me know all your thoughts down below, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.